Hello everybody, my name is William. Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Today we're going to be doing another flight in the XCub, doing our return flight from Fish Lake back to Idaho County. Going to be carrying one passenger back with us to Idaho County today. Spent the night here in Fish Lake, so early morning departure for our short flight back. I hope you all do enjoy. If you do, giving the video a like really does help me out, and as always, if you want to see more content, you can subscribe as well. I really do appreciate it. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Welcome on board the XCub, everybody. We are parked up here off the side of the runway at Fish Lake. It's early in the morning. Spent the night here for our return trip. Still absolutely beautiful weather out. So we should have a clear flight for our trip back. We're going to go ahead and get the aircraft ready for our startup. So get the mixture in, prop full forward, and we will open up the fuel tank. So we're on the right tank for the start. Get the master on, ignition's on, and we'll go ahead and hit the fuel pump. And it is all clear around us, so clear prop. Crank it. Alright, engine has started up. Got everything looks like it's good. Oil pressure is good. Give it just a little bit more power. Let's see, oil temperature is going to come up and fuel pressure is good. Let's kill the fuel pump. Fuel pressure goes down, but still good, so we are good there. I had to load it up, so everything's already set up here in our avionics, but I'm going to go through and just make sure I've got stuff kind of the way I want it. And we are going to be departing out of runway 05 here, which is basically just going to be a taxi out and straight out, because we don't want to depart off into the mountains there. So we're going to depart out towards the lake and do a circle back. That way we can head back on our route. So I'm going to get that set up and we'll be ready to depart in just a moment. Alright, I think we are ready to go for our departure. Didn't take too long to set things up. So we've got our flight started in FSEconomy, and we are going to go ahead and get ready to take the runway. So we're still going to keep our lights on pulse. It's early in the morning, just makes us a little bit easier to spot, in my opinion. All our lights are on, transponders on, everything's set up in the GPS, and the wind looks like it is kind of calm out of the north in the area. Wind looks calm all around. Expecting it to be calm at Idaho County as well. So that is nice. We are going to line ourselves up here, facing directly out at the lake. And we'll go ahead and go full power. And let's go ahead and get that tail up. We got plenty of runway here, so we're just going to let the airspeed build a little bit. And up we go. Stay nice and low for a moment, and then we'll just kind of pop up with some airspeed. We need to climb a little bit out over the lake. It looks really pretty with the sunrise. It's not super early in the morning here, but it is early enough. So we're going to point off in this direction. And we're going to go for a pretty aggressive climb here. Need to get up over the mountain on the other side. Nice and close to those trees. And we'll bank it around now to the left. We've already got about 1,000 feet above the airfield. So we're going to start turning it around now. It is just about 50 nautical miles. You can see the lake down there. And the airstrip as well. That's a cool little place we came into. Pretty different than the few I've been into around this area, but kind of like that, honestly. Different airfields keep it interesting. I just moved my B&2 Islander up to Montana as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to have a video flying it out before this or not, but some interesting airports up there too. It's different with the Islander, for sure, but a bunch of variety in the area. We've got 8,500 set up for our altitude back. We cruised here at 7,500 with no problem, so 8,500 will be fine. And we're going to go for a little bit more of an expedient trip back. So let's pull the mixture out a little bit and keep an eye on the gallons per hour. There it goes, it kind of falls off. So we're going to pull it back up just rich of that drop off. It's all about keeping the fuel-air mixture optimal, really. And we are just going to keep on climbing up. About 100 feet to go. You can see, it looks like some high-level clouds off this direction. We had a bunch of low clouds off to the north the other day. It doesn't look like they're there anymore, so maybe it's kind of cleared up. We've just got some high-level clouds now off in this direction. And we're blowing through 8,500 feet. Not by much, though. Go ahead and start trimming the aircraft out a little bit. The wind seems to have picked up just slightly. We're getting that chop as we're kind of crossing over the ridges. This was super pretty on the flight in. I didn't really get to highlight it, but you can see on the chart and everything, like these little lakes are depicted on top of this mountain. And it is just really pretty. I think I'm actually going to go check these out real quick. Let's watch our altitude out of the corner of our eye here. And let's go ahead and pull the throttle back a little bit. You see, like, right at the top of these peaks, these nice little lakes. That'd be super pretty to go into. The lake that we flew into was pretty nice as well, but I do really enjoy these. You can see them dotted all over here on these mountaintops. Really pretty. Really, really pretty area. But we're going to go on back to Idaho County, which is the big flat plateau. Kind of makes it all look like it's going to be boring around, and then you fly off into an area like this, and it is absolutely stunning. So since we're a little bit all over the place with our altitude, and get it back to 8,500, and we will get back on our direct to course a little bit better. Got about 125 knots across the ground, so direct 2 is going to take us about 21 minutes to get there. Not bad at all. We'll get established on our course, and we will be able to take in the views as we make our quick flight on back. Just taking another look at some of these pretty lakes up here in the mountaintops. Really back in the middle of nowhere. Absolutely stunning stuff. So we'll go back and wait for our next paying trip back into the wilderness. It's been a lot of fun flying this little thing around here. So I'm going to get it on the autopilot, and we'll enjoy the views. We're just about halfway into our journey now. We're coming up in the fork in the river. You can see it going off there, off to the left. And it's probably a little bit harder to see, but yeah, you can see it right there underneath us as well as continuing off to the west directly in front of us. If we really sit up and press ourselves up against the window there. Should be an airport somewhere down below us, just a little grass strip, probably pretty hard to make out, as should be passing basically right over it. Beautiful stuff out here. Kind of nice flying it in the early morning too, with all the shadows and everything. It really does look pretty though. Looking forward to getting into some of the other strips that are tucked away down along these rivers, as I find them to be quite challenging. But nevertheless, we are working our way back to Idaho County, and we're just about 25 nautical miles out now, so about halfway in our trip. And we're going to just make sure we switch our fuel tanks over and make sure we've got the latest altimeter. So we are good on that now. So we're on to the left tank. And we have just under 12 minutes now is what we're estimating, since we're doing about 124 knots across the ground. A good 10.5 gallon fuel burn from the engine. Everything looks good, and before too long we will be ready to come into Idaho County, which has a runway of 26 and 08, and I think the wind is reporting calm. It seems like I don't know, it must just all be building up for me to have just a stretch of really bad weather, because the weather's always been really good for me around here. But if the wind is calm, we'll just use runway 26 because we can make a straight in for it. So we can kind of see the land in front of us kind of flattening out, getting up on top of that plateau is what it seems like. And yeah, we'll make our approach into Idaho County, hopefully uneventful, get a little bit more practice landing this tail dragger, and be ready for our next adventure. So take in the sights while they last, before it gets a little bit more boring outside the airplane, and we'll be ready to land. We are rapidly approaching Idaho County. Well, maybe not quite rapidly, but we are getting ever closer, thankfully. We are about to start our descent in, as we're at 8,500 feet, and field elevation is about 3,300 feet. So we're going to go ahead and make our way down, which means we are going to get off the autopilot, and we'll go ahead and clear everything off of there as well. And pull our power back a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and push the mixture forward just in advance. We can see the field here on our synthetic vision, the little tarmac area right there, and we are going to go ahead and make our approach for runway 26. So we're basically just going to do a straight in here for 26 into Idaho County, as the wind is nice and calm, and it shouldn't be much of an issue. We do need to get a little aggressive with our descent, so just make sure we pull that power out a little bit more, that way it's not fighting us too much, and we got plenty of room to get our way down. It's beautiful country, flying over it on the way back in. Definitely looking forward to some more flights in the near future. Trying to find a couple more short hops we can do, where we could do both the flight there and the return flight without it taking too long. Some challenging airstrips around here as well. I'm sure these airstrips would be a lot more challenging if one of these times don't luck out with the weather. But nice days, you take them when you can get them, that's for sure. Just kind of looking for the runway. It seems like it's a little hard to spot, but I think this is it right here. You can see just along the top of my mouse, with the ramp being off there with those buildings. So we are going to set up for a pretty nice short approach. We're just going to work our way down to about 4,400, 4,500 feet. And then we can go ahead and proceed straight in. We'll put that mixture in just a little bit more. I still think it's amazing how we were just flying over all of that terrain, and then you get up here, and you know, if you could kind of, like, if the visibility wasn't so great and all you could see was these fields around here, I know you might think you're in like South Dakota or something. It is pretty crazy how different it is, just a few miles off to the east. All right, let's start pulling that power out now. And we'll go ahead and go down through 4,400 feet. But we do need to kind of pitch up. We'll keep the descent going, but we're going to pitch up just slightly. That way we can start bleeding some airspeed. I should have pulled that throttle out a little bit earlier. It's poor management by me, but we will make it work. Get down into the wide arc here, and we'll go ahead and pop first notch of flaps. We'll pop the second notch of flaps too. Now we can really get aggressive with it and not have to worry too much. We have a whole another notch of flaps we can go down on if we need. Pretty crazy seeing the reflection there in the propeller. It's a little distracting. Alright, Idaho County, short final, runway 26. For a full stop here. Just gotta make sure I don't get too crazy with the brakes. Trying to get a little bit of a softer landing than we managed at Fish Lake. Oh, still a little bounce. Heard the stall horn go off there. Alright, so we're going to make this exit. We will clean the plane up. We'll get to our parking spot and complete our flight. Hopefully our passenger is happy to be back. However, I don't know, such a pretty day. I would probably not want to leave if it was me, personally. There's something to be said about being back in civilization, though, depending on how long you're out there. So let's get our strobe lights off, our landing lights off as well. And we'll put the transponder into standby. And enter that, so we are cleared on it. We're just going to taxi up to the ramp and complete our flight, so we can get paid for it. Looks like this first spot is open, so we'll go ahead and take it. Nice and close to the runway. About to have a head-on with the car. Couldn't see him over the engine. We'll just line ourselves up here as best as we can. And good enough for me. Alright, so we'll just hit the parking brake and complete our flight. We have now been paid for it in FSEconomy, and we are back ready for another adventure next time. I hope you all have enjoyed the flight back. As always, if you do, giving the video a like really does help me out a ton, and I appreciate all the support. I really do. It means a ton to me, as well as just sharing the stuff with anybody that might be interested in this same kind of thing. That's really honestly the best way you guys can help me out, and I do appreciate it. As always, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.